Okay, family, last video for today, I think. This is Teresa with the Shaman's Dream Project. And today I would like to share with you some perspectives on the water. So, I think most of us have, heard of a guy by the name of Dr. Emoto, or perhaps, we've come across some other someone we look up to, someone we look to as an expert or whatever, a scientist, let's say. um, but you probably come across this work where Dr. Emoto covered it very well, about water being consciousness. So if you haven't yet seen that, please do. So basically, yeah, the water is consciousness, and we are consciousness. And so we, in these skin suits especially, are made mostly of water. And so we can move and shift. When we move and shift our internal waters, we can actually impact the waters that we see external to us, external to our skin suits. The lakes and the rivers and the streams and things like that. Basically, I'm going through some show notes here because I want to make sure I cover all these, for this. If this is a new concept for you, especially, I don't want to lose the plot on you. I want you to have a clear comprehension. So basically, we communicate our vibrations. Like, everybody's got a signature frequency vibration that's unique to them, and we communicate that onto the water, the internal water of our skin suits, and then that gives us a feedback loop to say, oh well, I don't feel so good today. Maybe it's because and I did do this actually. I ingested something called an amoeba, which is a waterborne parasite. And depending on which part of the world you happen to get one of these, it can be pretty serious. This time for me wasn't so bad. But I am still kind of recovering from it. So, that's my feedback loop to tell me, you should have dried that cup out before you filled it with the filtered water. So, so how is our internal water, and what is the state of our internal water as a collective, as like the mass of humanity on the planet right now? And to answer that question, we can ask another question. And that question is how is that projection of our internal waters, how is that reflected back to us in the reality? Do we resonate with that reality because we're creating it all, right? Or do we find ourselves in dissonance with that reality? Like, if we feel this dissonance, we feel polarity, we feel division, we feel separation from the state of peacefulness and unconditional love, and I'll just say those kinds of words, and then you ask your heart, am I in resonance or in dissonance, right? So if we desire to shift the waters, if we desire to shift the consciousness and return to a state of peacefulness, or Krystos even, which is the Greek word for Christ consciousness, then there will be a shift that needs to take place for something to come out of dissonance and into resonance, into the center, where they can spiral out and create a whole nother dimension of reality, right? Like the one we're creating now, the fifth dimension, and the sixth. So, yeah, so I think that's kind of it for the water. Like, well, okay, there's just a little bit more. So this is just something that came to my heart, and I just wanted to share it with you, family. So as this internal shift of the consciousness, as this internal shift of the waters takes place, we can see also in the 3D manifested a lot of shifting of the water. So what I see is a lot of storms, hurricanes, and just for the year in general, this 2020 vision on Caesar's calendar, fake time. But it is 2020 vision, so because it's the apocalypse. But just so family, like, because it can get a little scary when you're in the middle of like a hurricane or some kind of massive tropical storm or tsunami or this really torrential downpour of rain. These are all ways that the water is shifting. So just know that it's a good thing, and that we weather the storm, and then we come out in the peacefulness of the other side. Other forms of water that we'll see shift is the tears. Those are very good for shifting and moving and healing. And then also the most sacred form of water on this planet is the blood. And so we'll see a lot of that this year as well. Whether that's riots in the streets and people getting hurt, with clubs and knives and tear gas and tear gas. But yeah, a lot of tears and a lot of blood. Don't get caught up in it, is what I'm suggesting. I mean, let me rephrase that. You do whatever you want to do, because you have that free will choice, and I'm not here to infringe upon that, nor am I here to influence it, because I cannot pretend to know the mind of God. Or in this case, I cannot pretend to know the mind of infinite consciousness, and when it's finished exploring itself. But whenever you're ready, I invite you, family, if it resonates with you, to pray for the sacred water in all her forms, and to be clean and to be pure, so that she can host the frequencies of unconditional love, peace, comfort, healing, clarity, strength. I mean, the water is everything. With water, everything. Without water, nothing. It's for me, it's the most sacred of all the sacred elements, which I'll cover all of them, but the water first for me. It's just a big deal. So lest there be any doubt, because I know we've got this program that says, it was downloaded really hardcore into us, that says, I need to see it to believe it, rather than I need to believe it to see it. But I understand. I was under that program for most of my life. But whenever you're ready to come out of that too, I invite you to believe it first, and then to see it with your inside first, outside second. So I invite you to pray for the water, because it's important, and I'm pretty sure people will just get this, but just in case, I want to make sure I cater to anyone that's coming across this video. If you have any doubts, because you need to see it, right? You need to see it with your eyeballs. I will include a link in the show notes. Let me see, I'm going to just read from this guy's show notes to give him credit for doing this. This is amazing, and I'm glad he posted this. So it basically says hydrokinesis is a demonstration that he's posted that you can observe, measure, and repeat for yourself. It's one of the most useful forms of psychokinesis, and it can be used to heal and bless and purify the water. So yeah, he makes like this demonstration with a little ball, like plastic ball inside of a sealed container, and it's surrounded by water, and he just sends energy to the ball, or he sends his energy through the water, and then the water reacts by creating a vortex that allows the bubble, or excuse me, the ball to bounce all around the top in a circle. Check it out. It's in the show notes. Maybe you could try it. You know, it's pretty easy, I guess, to set this up. But anyhow, family, yeah, just remember that as we shift our internal waters, so will the waters we see externally shifted, be that the rain, the typhoons, the hurricanes, the storms, the blood, the tears. It's all in divine order. It's all prerequisite. There has to be this sacrifice, this giving before receiving what's on the other side of this unveiling in a time of great deception, this apocalypse. And remember, family, it's not your first apocalypse either. It's not. So, if this has been a blessing to you, it is my honor to share it. I'm not really, like, I'm not here to teach anybody anything. I'm not here to, like, tell anybody you need to come over to my way of thinking. I'm not here to do any of that. That's just ridiculous. It's like school. It's stupid. But it's more like just putting like different perspectives out there that, you know, if they resonate with you, then it's my honor to share that. And then, you know, if anybody has any kind of fears about the apocalypse and what the future holds, and you know, it's a trying time. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but it is necessary for our growth. Yeah, and I just have a butterfly. He went right that way. I don't know if you saw him. Yeah, that's what we're here to do. That's what the butterfly says. He says we go into, he says, first of all, that I'm this like caterpillar and I'm crawling on the ground. I'm very vulnerable. Anybody could step on me. The birds could pick me off the trees, or, you know, some other animal could, you know, forage me on the ground. It's a very vulnerable position to be in, and rather helpless, I suppose, infantile, like, and you know, so in order for him to desire to shift out of that infantile state into a higher form of development, he has to melt himself down. He goes into this cocoon and he just completely has a quite literal meltdown. Like, if you think a nervous breakdown or mental meltdown is bad, you should try melting down your entire body, because that's what he does. And he turns himself into like this soup, and then the soup somehow magically comes back together, and it forms this larva of the butterfly, and then the butterfly has to have a great struggle to come out of the cocoon and unwrap his wings, you know, because he's all curled up and he has to spread out all his, in some cases, really big wings that need to be spread out, and it's not easy. But after he's done that, then he doesn't have to worry about being stepped on. He doesn't have to worry about predators. He's got these bright colored wings that tell the predators, don't you even think about eating me, because I'll be poisonous to you. Or good luck trying to catch me, because I can fly and maneuver better than any of you would-be predators. And the butterfly also has this amazing perspective now. Like he's way up here floating around above the trees even, and you know, just high in the sky floating around. He can see everything, not just what's the nose in front of his face stuck to the ground. And that's what the butterfly said. Super easy. We have our ears ready to listen to the messages and the wind. And the birds. And everything. I'll probably do another video like this called What the Sparrow Taught Me, anyhow, to go along with what the tarantula taught me and what the pigs taught me. And if it's a blessing to you, family, it is my honor to share it. I love you very much. Namaste.